Hey Facebook, today we have some really incredible information coming your way from Sheena Cantar. Sheena is a speaker, has business all over the world. She's a super cool person and she teaches people how to step into their personal power. And that's what I want to share with you today because Sheena did this video series last week and it was super cool. It was super deep. So go and check out. I've tagged her in the post. Go and check out her video series. And I thought this would be really great for you guys to hear and get to understand. So I'm going to bring Sheena on now. Just going to cross our fingers and pray to the gods of technology. And any moment, Sheena should be just live. So let me know if you have any questions for Sheena. If you are watching this live, please put live. If you're watching it on the replay, please put replay, and then we'll know how you're tuning in. And Sheena will be able to get back to your questions after the live as well. So how much in your power do you feel that you are right now out of 10? Just let us know below how in your power you feel out of 10. And here we have the amazing Sheena Cantar. Sheena, how you doing?
Hiya, Luke. How you doing?
Yeah, so good. I was just before our Facebook Live, I was just dancing around. I was really getting free and flowy because that's one of the ways I get into my personal power is by being silly, just by having a bit of fun. So I'm feeling quite flowy now. How about you? How are you feeling?
I'm always in the flow. Literally, whenever anybody asks me, I mean, my number one strength is positivity, so I really can't help it. I find it hard to sit still. So when I'm talking, I'll probably be moving around a lot. So that's just the way I am. I'm
Awesome.
always in positive light. Yeah.
I remember one of the first times we met, we were in a park and we sat down on a bench together. We just started talking and you went super deep. You went super deep, like straight away. And I was like, yes, this is one of my people. Like, so you have full permission tonight, Sheena, please to go as deep as you want. My audience can totally handle it. We've got some people saying, Alan says he is 8 out of 10 in his personal power. So that's pretty awesome. Really well done, bro. I would agree. Alan's a really amazing dude. Everyone connect with Alan. Sarah says, I'm 6, but it goes up and down. Beautiful. So for everyone who doesn't know, just a quick introduction to Sheena. Sheena is one of the UK's top life strengths experts. She has this really cool thing that she actually did with me. We did a session together where she shows you your top strengths. It's kind of like your values that you live by, like what makes you up, and it's so on point for me. So I'm going to ask her to go into some of that in a bit. But Sheena, first thing, what do you want the whole world to know? If I could give you a magic microphone and you could speak into it for the next 30 seconds and everything that you say, the whole population of the world would hear, what would you want the whole world to know?
It's okay to be you. I mean, it can literally be summed up in that. One of the things that we try and do is we try and be better, 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 and better. That just puts so much pressure on ourselves. Wouldn't it be really awesome to know that you're just awesome exactly the way you are? And actually, it's by unpeeling all the layers of rubbish that we put on top of ourselves, or other people have put on top of ourselves as well. But actually, if we just unpeel those layers, then we can actually see this absolutely awesome person here. Now, if I can just like go on for a little story to explain this, I was with a friend and she was telling me that, how she'd asked everybody about her boyfriend, that everybody had this really bad opinion of him, and I was the only one who saw the good in him. And I was just like, well, go figure. Can you hear what you're saying? You went and validated exactly everything that you thought, whereas I see what people show in front of me and I see that everybody is actually awesome, but we spend a lot of the time crouched down, thinking, oh my God, I've got to be better. But actually, I show you how to stand tall and be yourself and be your awesome self.
Amazing.
That was more than 30 seconds, I know, but it's hard to shut me up.
But it's so important. People try so hard to be like other people instead of just really amplifying their strengths. Gary Vee talks a lot about it. He says, don't work on your weaknesses, amplify your strengths, like double down on your strengths, really go into that, because that's what makes you. Don't, if you're not good at this one thing and you really don't like it, you can go and invest a load of time to be okay, but someone's already great at that. So get someone who's better than you to do it. And I think for me as an entrepreneur, what you teach is so important, because whatever you need, that is somebody's strength, right? And you just have, but they have to be able to show that, and most people can't. Yeah. So let's just get straight into some value, Sheena. I want you to tell everyone here why they need to step into their personal power.
Well, why not? You know, if you are, so whenever I do so I'm a Gallup certified strength consultant, and one of the things that I realized was that, you know, how unique we actually are. So I spent my time comparing myself to other people, and it led me literally down a road of destruction and lack of confidence. When I had my strengths done, I literally just realized just how awesome that I say how awesome I am. I'm so used to saying it to other people, I have to remember it myself as well. So here's the thing, whenever you do your strengths with me, whenever we work with all 34 strengths, it's a 1 and 2, 5, 9, and there's 36 zeros after that. Chance that somebody will have the same strengths as you in the same order. Now that's pretty unique considering there's only 7 billion people on the planet or whatever, you know. So when I work with your top 5 strengths is what I mainly do to keep us focused. It's a 1 in 33 million chance that you are not the same as anybody else. So why not step into your power? Nobody has what you have. One of the things that was said to me whenever I was in a corporate job, and I asked was how was I to develop? I was told to do one thing and do one thing really, really well. And I thought, well, what the heck's that? And then it dawned on me, the only thing that I can do better than anybody else is be Sheena. Yeah, so why are we comparing ourselves with everybody else when we are so unique? And whenever I do the strengths, that even shows that to you, how unique you actually are. Nobody thinks like you. So it's just that when we talk to other people and we share our ideas and we want feedback from them, we don't need to share our ideas. We have to know what our personal power is in here. We are the center of our life. We are the center of our universe, and nobody can see what we see. So don't ask anybody else. If it feels good to you, that is your personal power. Do not hand it over to somebody else and ask their opinion for them to put you down. Nice. So I'll get off my soapbox.
Nice. Alan says, I can't step into your power, Luke. Lol. You can only step into your own power. You can only step into your own power. Exactly. Amazing, Sheena. So I really think it's important with you. Like, one of the first things you said to me is you love to shine. And that really resonated with me. And I don't know if you know how much of an impact that actually has had on me, because I wrote a poem last week, and I actually performed it at an open mic night. And the final line of the poem that came to me was directly influenced by you. So would you like to hear it?
Yeah, crack on.
So it's a poem about expressing ourselves and how, especially in the UK, we're very constrained, we're very reserved, and we don't express ourselves loudly because we don't want to be an inconvenience to other people. You know, if we're too bright, it might hurt someone's eyes. If we're too loud, it might hurt their ears, you know. And so we keep ourselves small. And the last line of the poem is, if you don't dare to shine, then how will the other shiny people find you? Because we want to be around people that are like us, right? And when we shine, we give other people permission to shine. And then those other shiny people, the ones that we really want to play with, they see us, they go, whoa, I'm like you too. And that's how we come together. But if people don't dare to shine, then how do they find their tribe, right? How do they find their people?
Yeah, that's one of the things actually, look, that I really learned in my conversations with you. I mean, that was over the spinning guy, you know, who was literally shining on a spinning bike, and then just like, so I ended up doing exactly the same actions, hands in the air, singing to Mamma Mia, and I thought, and that was the conversation, was if we continually hold ourselves back, which I'm you know, which I have done as well and still do sometimes, I feel myself holding back. I literally now step forward into myself and shine more. So then you actually see other people lift themselves higher and you go, well, I helped them do that. Oh, wow. That feels really good.
Tell everybody the story about the spinning guy, because it's amazing.
I was just at this, I go to spinning every week, but it's a Saturday morning, and he's called Andy. So I can't remember his surname, but he's from David Lloyd, just to give him a little buzz out there. And he started about 6 months ago, and he was really quite quiet on his bike, and he was given his instructions, and it was all pretty boring. But as the months have gone on, he's just become himself. He's just gone way out there. I mean, whenever we're cycling, it's like The Greatest Showman or Mamma Mia or Grease Lightning, and he's on his bike and he's spinning with his hands in the air and getting us to clap, and he literally brings us out, and we start laughing. I mean, we look at him as if, oh my God, you're mad. But we're all laughing and we're all copying him. And you know, when we leave that spinning class, we are bouncing literally away. Doesn't matter how much hangover you've had before, you literally get rid of it that quickly in his class. So yeah, that made me realize that, wow, I become more because somebody else has become more.
Yeah, it's so important. And at our events, when we do any of our events about speaking or spirituality or sexuality or whatever it is we're teaching, we always want to create a safe space where people can express themselves. I think this is so important, because if you're worried about people judging you or rejecting you, most people keep themselves kind of small, right? But when you feel totally safe, when you feel relaxed, and you know that everyone there is just going to support you, no matter how crazy you are, you can really just have fun, right? And really let loose, and it creates this magic ripple effect. Sheena, we've got loads of comments. Everyone's loving you, by
I know,
the way.
it's so funny there. Great work. Andy doesn't even know him, or does he? I don't know.
Everyone look.
I'll make sure he sees this. Right?
Josh says, I love this, Sheena. Super aligned to my message. So there you go. You've got another fan. Sarah Jane says, brilliant, Sheena. Thanks. And Sarah says, happy, shiny people. Happy, shiny people. Absolutely. So Sheena, you did an amazing video series last week, and that's really what I wanted you to talk to people about, just to give them some tips, because I know you were sharing about your personal power program, your coaching program that you do, and the 3 things people need to do to step into their power. And I think everyone listening needs to hear it. So grab a pen, grab some paper if you haven't got them already. Sheena's going to drop some knowledge on you now. So Sheena, can you just tell people a little bit about your model, how you help people step into their power?
Yeah, well, I call it the 3 Ps. So it's all about power, pattern, and then performance. So the power bit is really about what I talked about before, about understanding your strengths. I mean, that to me was a life-changing thing that happened whenever I was 45, and I literally underperformed as a strategic manager. And then whenever I had my strengths done and it was okay to be me, I literally shot to #1 in the team and top 10% of the company globally. So that it was such a powerful opening door. And that is something that is literally when you do an online assessment and then you have a one-to-one with me, which literally brings those strengths out. There's been so many conversations of people just having light bulb moments. It's not that we don't know who we are, it's just that we're probably 99% sure, but then we spend our time asking everybody else, is this okay, is this okay? Well, no, you don't need to ask anybody else now. You're 100% confident as to who you are. And that's what the whole first month is about. And that is a lot of time intensive from me as well, and doing one-to-ones with people on the course.
And just on that note, I do a lot of like personality profiling tests, because I love to understand how our minds work and how our energies work, right? And you have a lot of people know star signs, and they give quite a lot of weight to it. I'm a Pisces, so that means I show up like this, which is cool, and you can go pretty deep into that, and there's a lot of merit into it. And there's some other ones that I've used too, but your strengths one that you use is really, really deep, isn't it?
Yeah, oh God, yes, yeah. I mean, I only did the top 5 with you, but sometimes the top 5 is all we need. Whenever I work with all 34 strengths, people want to know what's the last strength. And sometimes, when I'm doing one-to-one coaching for that, then I will do all 34 strengths, because it is important to understand something that somebody literally looks at the last strength and goes, that's been my problem. And we identify it like that. But your top 5 strengths can also be your top 5 weaknesses.
Can you give people some examples of what strengths are? Maybe your strengths, or you can tell them mine. I don't mind. You can share anything. I'm totally open with everyone.
I can't remember yours, Luke. I've got 300 strengths going around in my head. No, so for my strengths they are positivity, which is obviously positivity. There's not really much else you can say there. But the one thing I do say about being positivity #1 is that it can't have cheese people off at some stage. So where you said there, look, about, like being shiny Sheena, when I'm rocking 10 out of 10, positivity mode, I can really shine a bit too brightly for some people. Some people I say, put your sunglasses on and come anyway, we're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
You know, and other people are just go, maybe it's not your time yet, but you know, whenever you're ready, stick your glasses on and then we'll come along.
Yeah.
So the next one is called Woo. And I love this one because it's a real networking skill, and it's called basically winning others over, which means that in a networking situation, you put me into a room. I'm a great person to bring to a party, by the way. You put me in the room, I will work the room, I will bring over whoever you want me to bring over, I will bring them over. And you just would never be afraid around me because I'll be pulling you everywhere and getting you to talk to everyone. The next one is empathy. So even though woo can seem like a very superficial strength, luckily I've got empathy just directly underneath it, which means that I really do care about people and I understand what you're going through, and I will pick that up very, very quickly. So I will back off and I will be able to tune my strengths up and down. So positivity, I may turn down to a 2 straight away if I go, whoa, something's not quite right here, and I will pull back. The other two, I put them together as developer and maximizer. So I develop myself, constantly learning, constantly reading, but that's just when I learn myself, I have to pass it on. So that's why I have to write a book, then I have to be a coach, then I have to do a course, because I have to make sure that I pass this knowledge on, that it doesn't just stay with me. And the maximizer is my number 5th one, is literally that I completely max out my time. I even plan in my rest times, because that's how much of a maximizer I am on my time. So if anybody recognizes any of those qualities, I mean, there's 34 qualities to go through, but they're literally my top 5.
Amazing. Dave says, I have been told to stop being so happy.
So have I, Dave. So have I. I was told to tune it down.
There's in the poem that I wrote, I just want to go back to it because it was really deep. It was me having a conversation with Mother Nature. And I basically said to her, I said, what am I supposed to do? Like, I want to express myself, but I don't want to put other people out. And she said in the poem, she said, of course, there'll be those people that will turn their gaze and talk to you, their friends, about you because you have the sheer audacity to feel so fully and shine so brightly and love so loudly. But then there'll be the other people that will see you shining and they'll think, wow, maybe one day I can be like that. Maybe I'll be able to shine too. And then there'll be those other shiny people that we talked about that will see themselves in you and will then want to laugh and play and sing with you. And I think it's a really good way, especially on social media, so it's a really good way to find out who your people are. Because when a lot of people wake up on this spiritual journey and they start feeling more connected, you see some old friendships and even family and business partners and things fade away because they just don't resonate anymore, right? You kind of fall out of alignment with them. When you start being in your truth, then you attract this whole new, more amazing tribe.
It is pretty amazing. I do a lot of networking on LinkedIn, and like some of the people that I meet, I just love it when somebody comes on the Zoom and is smiling from ear to ear, and I go, great, my person. So I can be myself, and yeah, exactly. And I find they resonate back with me. It's so much fun. Like I've just been speaking today to a girl from America, from Tennessee, and you know, she's going to join my business simply because I was just me, and she reacted with me, and we literally just, it was just awesome.
Fantastic. So we talked about the power part, patterns, really interesting. I think understanding your patterns is one of the most important self-development journeys you can possibly go on. How you sabotage yourself, but what does patterns mean to you, and how do you help people with that? Like, what can the people do watching to work on their patterns?
Well, it's got to realize that we're conditioned from birth, from the womb onwards, basically. You know, whatever our parents were feeling, whatever our mother was feeling while we were in her belly, we're conditioned. And I hadn't even realized that when we say certain words, that they have a certain vibration, and that resounds in the womb as well. You know, so even whatever word that your mother had, happy word, then you will feel happy when you hear that word. If it's a sad word, you will hear that, and you won't even know that that's there. You will just think, oh, that's life, and that's just the way everybody is. But there's a pattern that's going on. We've been conditioned right from birth, so everything that ever happens to us, then life events happen to us, and then we get conditioned. So I mean, I have a story. I never told you this one. This is a funny one. It's like I took 50p from my mum's purse whenever I was younger. And then I was so frightened because I'd taken the 50p and she was telling my brothers off that I ran and threw it in the hedge because I couldn't even touch it. So I hadn't even realized that, potential guilt around having money, that I wasn't worth the money that I was getting as my corporate salary, that's one day somebody's going to find out that I'm an imposter and I'm not really doing my job, just literally a conditioned behavior. So that leads to certain expectations that we have, and then we assign meanings to everything, so we make that meaning up, but then have you ever had a conversation with somebody and they're like, well, I didn't feel that and I didn't see that? Well, no, because they have their perception and their programmings. So we think our conscious mind is running stuff, and trust me, it's not. It's your subconscious that's running it. There was a study done with a guy in an MRI scanner. So literally he's lying in the MRI scanner and somebody's there monitoring his brain activity. He had to press the buttons right or left, and he had full control as to what he did. Now here's the amazing thing. When he was told to press a button, the guy who was looking at his brain patterns knew what this guy was going to do 6 seconds before he did it. Now, when I first heard that, I thought, oh my goodness, who's running the show here? Who is running my life? Am I really when we think we're making conscious choices, actually, they've already been made. And this is a thing that Gallup has picked up on when we do our strengths assessment, because you've only got 20 seconds in which to answer double-ended questions with 5 choices. So it's literally because we want you to be confused, and we want the conscious mind to be confused so that your subconscious actually answers the question. So that's what we're looking at the whole way through the program but to get yourself out of that, I would say one of the things to look at would be how you set your goals. So it's called VIP. And the first bit is about visualization and visualizing your goals. But what do people do? They set goals that they know how to get to. So it's like aiming for, say, a C in an exam. And you know how to get to that. You've no clue how to get to the A, but you think, oh God, I can't even think of the A. But I encourage people to start with the A, because that is the goal that you want to reach. But we need to feel like we've already reached the A. And it's literally things like that we raise our vibration instead of maintaining ourselves where we are now. Because if you know how to achieve your goal, you're not growing. You're not doing anything differently. You're literally living the same life over and over again, just with different characters, different situations. So that's the first thing on visualization. The next thing is about image. This was really big for me. So bear in mind, everything that I would teach people, it is because I've already gone through it myself. I haven't just learned something and I'm passing this on. These are real life experiences that I will bring to you and how they've worked for myself and for other people. So the image is self-image. We may have a goal, but actually if our image, so say I want to be a millionaire, but if I haven't got the image of a millionaire, I'm never going to get there. I'm just going to be frustrated all the time. And what is our self-image, which is actually run by the programs. Now, the third part of it, the P part, is literally the programs and really uncovering what those programs are. And a lot of it is down to awareness. So if we're aware of what we repeatedly say to ourselves. I mean, I've worked with one woman who's literally amazing PhD professor, etc. Yet when she does something stupid, she calls herself silly names. How often do we criticize ourselves? How often? Let me tell you, it's a lot more than what you think. And when to get those programs not to be, I mean, people talk about affirmations. It's not about consciously repeating, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire. You're never going to get there. You have to be able to drop it into your heart and into your soul, that you feel it beyond the shadow of a doubt that that's who you are. So that's the techniques, and some of the techniques that I actually show you. Again, a funny story, just to add it in. I like my little funny stories, by the way. So I was just thinking before at one of my weddings, anyway, my dad actually said to me, oh, Sheena has delusions of grandeur. Now, when you're younger, you really feel that you are special, that you are somebody, but then your parents knock it out of you, your friends knock it out of you, the world knocks it out of you, and you all go, get down, who do you think you are? You are that special person, and we just have to clear all that rubbish again and get you right back on track to show that you are that special person, and that's what the VIP section of patterns shows you.
I think we should get rid of that phrase, delusions of grandeur. Like, what does that even mean? That means that you imagine that you are too good. In your imagination, you think too much about who you want to become. That is a ridiculous saying.
I just absolutely loved it.
Alan says, so are my patterns my parents' fault?
No, 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 they're nobody's fault. They just are. It literally just is. It's the way of the world. Your parents don't know, they know less than you know now. You know, we're all actually doing our best. And believe me, I have children who, they're not children, I guess, anymore. They're 19 and 25. I spent a lot of time beating myself up for not being the best parent. But you know what? I was the best parent at that time. Isn't hindsight wonderful? When we look back, as soon as you've done something, you go, oh my God, I could have done that better. Well, so do our parents. You know, they've gone through their life knowing what they've learned through their parents and through their parents and through their parents. So we're literally, but we have the opportunity today in this world to break that pattern. They have never been aware of that before. It is only now that we're becoming aware of, wow, we don't have to be like our parents. We just because we have the DNA and the genes, we can, there's so much that we can uncover about ourselves to show that we're different. And so it's nobody's fault. It just is. We've all been doing the best that we can. But here's the thing, why not be just a better version of ourselves going forward just by being aware? Because once you're aware, you can't go back. You seriously
Awesome.
cannot go back.
Completely agree. Once you have those breakthroughs, once you have those breakthrough moments where you see yourself so clearly and you see the programs, even just the awareness can help them to just fade away, just to dissolve, just to evaporate, right? But you have to shine a big spotlight on all these darkness, these little dark bits that you don't like so much. You just have to shine this big Sheena spotlight on it.
But here's the thing, as soon as you walk into a dark room and you turn the light on, what happens to the darkness? It's gone. It was never there. It's just there was no light. And so here's one thing that I've really, really learned is when you feel that you're going to suck in and be afraid of doing something, that's the moment in your head and in your body, you mentally and physically step forward and go, you do not have power over me anymore. Yeah. And when you do that and you step forward, it literally disappears. The fear actually goes. It's such an amazing little trick. Anyway, just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, amazing. And I know just that one session that we had together, it was really, really powerful. And you've got a coaching program coming up soon, right? You're looking for some new people, some newbies to come in and change their life. So I'm going to ask you about that in a little while, but just tell people about your third piece. So you talked about the power, the patterns, and the third one is?
Program or performance. He said program. Performance.
Yes.
And this is where, I mean, it's all about you. And isn't it funny how we started with you at the beginning and then we come full circle? We've gone through you. So this really is a journey through you to you. And we started off with you, we go through you, and then we're out the other side. This last bit about performance is really having a deep dive in the different areas of your life. So it's all very good, you know, thinking, well, you know, but what about my relationships? What about my finance? What about my mental stability, my emotional stability, etc., etc.? And it's looking at those areas of your life and really understanding what areas are we living because of somebody else. You know, it's almost like in victim mode. This happened because it's not my fault. Because as soon as you say because or a but after something, you're making an excuse, which means you're acting from that things are happening to you in your life. And we don't realize we're doing it. But when you become aware, wow, that literally you go, oh, I can't say the word because or but or even try anymore. My kids know that. It's all like no excuses. The next bit is whenever we're looking at each of those areas of our lives, whenever we're thinking, whenever life is in the flow and it's literally happening through us, and life is wonderful and it's absolutely great and we can make things happen. And then there isn't time in our life whenever we just are us. You know, the time that I can explain for myself whenever I just am me is whenever I'm around horses. Whenever I'm around horses, time goes completely. Whenever I'm playing polo, whenever I'm cantering along the field or full scale gallop, I am completely 100% tuned into me. And it is literally looking at that through different areas of your life. And something else I've just added on was quite profound for me. Whenever you look at a 360 feedback is what can you start, what can you strengthen, and what can you stop in your life? And we look at that again through all these different areas, through all the different lenses that you have, which are you, and you become the observer of you, which is a really, really, yeah, that's such a unique place to be able to be. But if you notice, like I said before, that it becomes you at the end, which takes you right back to you and your strengths and what you're really good at and how you can shine.
Sounds super deep. Do you make people cry a lot? I imagine you make people cry a lot.
I have done whenever we do our strengths. There's been so I've coached some people, my website, sheenacantar.com, and it's nothing to sell on there. It just literally is what strengths is and some of the programs that I do and some of the testimonials. But there have been some big companies that I've worked with and some major people, leaders, and especially men take a little bit longer to break through to, so that there's like holding it there, and I find women can give me just like that. And so I've had a few people where I've said something about their strengths as soon as I've got on the call, and they've burst into tears immediately. Other people have they've had click, click, click moments when they've gone, that's why I've been like that. Oh my goodness, you've just unlocked my life. That's what it does.
Yeah, I've had so many of those moments, and it literally does change your life. And there was one in particular I remember I had where I realized all these meanings I'd been giving to things. I had been giving it so much meaning. I'd created all these stories, and someone shone a light on it. It was actually a workshop. I did a 3-day workshop. It's really powerful. And I just I burst out in hysterical laughter because I realized how much energy I'd put into these stories and how much I was letting it define me. And that actually none of it was true. It was all completely made up. And I'd made it up. I chose to make those meanings, and that now I could make different ones. And
that is really powerful. Yeah.
Ever since that day, everything changed. So Sheena, I know that there's a load of people watching who will be like wanting to know more about how they can find their strengths out, how they can work with you, what your program is. So what's the best way for people to get you?
Well, the easiest way is either to catch me on Facebook, because I'm the only Sheena Cantar in the world. It's not hard to find me. And then on LinkedIn as well, Sheena Cantar. So that literally is the best way to get hold of me, and link in and say that you've watched me on this tonight and you'd like to know more, and we can just have a chat. That's all. We can just literally set up a chat and see how I can help you.
Fantastic. I recommend everyone finds out your strengths. Message Sheena. Sheena, before I let you go, I've got one more question for you. It's great that we've given people loads of information, right? But information doesn't change people's lives. You have to take action to change your life. You have to actually implement the stuff. So if you could leave people with one thing, that if they do this one thing, it will have a massive impact in their life, what would your one thing be for the people watching?
Wow. As soon as you feel anything inside you that is constricting. So here's the thing about constriction. When you constrict, can you see that I keep whatever it was I was afraid of in here? I mean, literally, that's exactly what you're doing. You are keeping it inside your body, and we think we're protecting ourselves. That is not protection. That is holding on to the fear, the doubt, and the worry. The one thing that you can do is literally as soon as you feel doubt or fear or worry, do not let it take hold. You must step forward with your body, with your brain, with everything, and with your body language. And actually, just if you can, I mean, if you're in the middle of, anyway, you could do it in the middle of a tram. Who cares? And just step forward like that. And literally walk in, mentally picture yourself walking into the fear, or mentally step forward, physically step forward into whatever it is. I promise you it actually disappears. But by holding ourselves small like this keeps it with us. By doing this, we go, let it go, let it go.
Nice. Sounds good. Yeah, I totally agree. Suppressing things, pushing things down, holding it in, just keeps you small, makes you constricted, creates all these health issues as well. When you learn to express yourself, you learn to speak your truth, like tell people how you feel, even tell yourself, be honest with yourself about how you feel. Most people struggle with going, okay, how do I feel right now? Oh, wow, I feel quite a lot of anger or sadness, or I'm excited, or whatever the feeling is, and then really owning it makes such a big difference. So really beautiful.
Yeah, don't be afraid of those feelings. I mean, just because somebody like myself has got positivity number one doesn't mean to say that I don't have my down moments. Of course I dip, and of course I act like a child sometimes, and I have my own pity parties. But it's realizing that everybody is like that. Everybody is actually going through something, and that sometimes just to sit and talk with somebody to help literally get out what's inside you can help. Not to talk about it for long, long times, but actually figure out what is it that I want, where is it I want to go, what is it I want to feel, rather than thinking I don't want to feel this anymore. Think, what is it I want to feel? And look at that instead. And how can you make yourself feel like that? Because that will determine the rest of your day. And every day is a mini version of your life. So if you can do that on a day-to-day basis, you will change your life, I promise.
Fantastic. And Sheena, just one last thing. I just saw my grandma just logged on. So, hi. And what message do you have for her? Give her some pure wisdom.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. It's never too late. Literally every day is a chance to turn things around. To what we're looking for in life isn't external things. It's what's going on in here. It has nothing to do with what's on the external. If you're continually chasing everything outside, you will never be happy. Happiness starts here. And whenever you're faced with fear, worry, doubt, boredom, whatever, you've got a choice. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be sad? Like, just make that choice, make that decision right there and then. And you go, oh, Sheena, that's easy for you to say. No, it hasn't been. But with practice, you just go, well, seriously, do you want to be happy or do you want to be sad? Like, take your pick, because that's your choice. Yeah. So.
Beautiful. Sheena, thank you so much. Everyone, get in touch with Sheena for a strengths session or to learn more about her 3-month coaching program. It will totally change your life. And Sheena, thank you so much. And super excited to have you. You're speaking at one of our events coming up very soon, right? In a couple of weeks' time at our Standout Speakers Academy. So if you want to hear Sheena speak, let me know. And I'll send you the link so you can get your ticket as well to hear Sheena shining on stage. My gran says, I agree. Don't look at your circumstances, look past them. Nice.
Yes.
Beautiful. All right, take care, everyone. Go take action. Do what Sheena said. If you just joined in, watch this back. There's some absolute gold in here. Go and shine, go and be amazing, and go and find your other shiny people.